Recording is on.
Perfect. Welcome everybody. This is Eternity Developers Update. We're changing the concept a little bit because I think it's actually nice that we just open for everyone that is working on a product or contributing code. And it's just like a little extended stand-up, and it should cover the past week of your work or what you think is important to communicate. This can also be difficult things that maybe went wrong, or like things that could affect other people in the ecosystem. And yeah, just general development updates are fine too. So this is week 26. I'm moderating this here out of Liechtenstein, and I would like to start today. There's no order. I will just go through everyone who is participating in this call. And sometimes people also write me updates personally, like, for example, Milen, who is working on a browser wallet. He's currently traveling to Switzerland and giving a smart contract workshop in a university. So he will not be here. So I would like to start with Martin. Martin, your team is working, we call it the dev suite, so smart contract development, local smart contract development, but also other things like maintaining some of the developer tools. So please give us an update from the past 5 days.
Okay. Hey guys. So last week our main focus was on the Ted Channels coffee shop application that we're trying to deploy on production and make it live. We have uploaded and deployed our own node for this application. We have also deployed the application. Now we are making some final polishments and configurations, and the application will be really soon available for the users to use in the base app. Also, we have updated the existing date and time library in the Sophia examples repository. It's available to use for the community. We have added way more functionalities there. We have updated all of the versions of the tool that we are using, like Forge and SDKs there. We have separated into a different library, so you can use the compiler ability to use libraries now. We have fixed also some issues in Forge, and we are now working on improvements on the contract wrappers and the usage of the ACIs together with the SDK. We have released new version of the goggles too, and we have fixed the issue with verifying transactions related to state channels. And currently we are now working also on Forge ability to compile namespaces. So I think this is from us from the last week.
Great. Again, also most of the things we're talking about can be found on GitHub or through the documentation hub. And also updates are regularly posted into the Eternity forum if some of the stuff that Martin just mentioned is important for your development, your personal app development.
Hey, may I do next?
He's I think in the university today, so we don't have that much time. So I'll just give you the next spot. Please give us a short update.
Okay. Over the last week, we put a lot of focus on restructuring the flows between the SDK, its functionalities, and our browser add-on. Things are, as always, a little bit tricky here because we have to satisfy so many stakeholders, being developers, end users, and our protocol. And we basically fixed a couple of issues we identified, which would have negative implications on security and fraud, transaction replay, and also the user experience. So the whole flow between the SDK and our browser plugin tool will be like a little bit reworked. And in addition to that, in the Node client itself, there's going to be a new API point. Very important to know for everybody. What you currently use, the dry run endpoint, which is in the debugging API namespace, it will be cloned into another namespace, and the other one will be discontinued at some point. This serves for the purpose because our main nodes currently do not support executing of smart contracts locally. So we're going to have like another endpoint for running smart contracts and another endpoint for actually dry running them. We're also going to have then a debugger for our IDE. This is about to come. This will be in the currently old endpoint. So just for you guys to know, Martin and Andreas are already aware of that. And yeah, we're pushing for the AEX implementations, all sorts of them. And yeah, there's first thoughts about a consortium chain implementation of Eternity. I have no idea what Gianni's current plans are there, but I'm getting lots of questions asked, so be prepared. This thing is also becoming. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Nikita. And yeah, I think this is really also one of the reasons for the calls. So people interested in the community, that they just grab and are aware of changes and can update their applications if they are a developer, or just follow the process or contribute. So thank you for pointing this out. I'll also go directly to Andrea, because Andrea, you have like one of the biggest chunks of work on your shoulders with actually keeping the SDKs up to date and following also the changes. I also always see you participating in the daily stand-ups from the protocol team and things like that. So please give us some insight about your current scope of work.
Yes, so for for the SDKs, I don't have a lot of to report. As Nikita mentioned before, we spent some time planning and structuring what are going to be the next body of work that we are going to do for the next sprint, and in general for in the summer time. I can add that for the JavaScript SDK, we have done a new release, the 4.10, that is that has been focused on support for ACI of the compiler, so to make it more easy and user-friendly to develop with the smart contracts. Also, we have tried to make it more easy to include the JavaScript SDK without using build tools like Webpack, etc. So it is possible now to link it to link JavaScript to import it, usually using a script tag in the HTML. Yeah, and the documentation is updated with this information. Also, for the middleware, John is not here today, but for the middleware, we also had we are stabilizing now the current work of the middleware, and we are probably going to make a new release that is again a maintenance release with some bug fixing for sometimes next week. That's it from my side.
Cool. I have a personal short question here to the middleware. Maybe you can answer it, or also Martin. Are there any plans to kind of spin up a local development environment that also includes the middleware? Because right now, when we look at Forge and we do some smart contract testing and development, I basically only spin up a few nodes and work with them. But if I go into production level, or especially if I need specific functions that only the middleware provides, is there anything planned script-wise that it's super easy to locally set up, like how it would look like later in production? Is there anything like this on the roadmap? Was my question clearly formulated?
So John is working on documenting the way how to make a production deploy of the middleware with the node. There is currently no global setup to run everything together locally. So you need to run the service all together separately. It's not a very complex setup though, because everything runs with Docker. But yeah, we can add this to the documentation, maybe of the middleware, how to run it all together with the node, so you can easily start all the node and middleware all together in a comfortable way.
Cool.
As much as possible.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, very interesting. Thank you for the work. I would like to, in the next step, it's also we're staying with the SDKs, and Daniela is here who is currently taking care of the team. So Daniela, please give us some little updates about Elixir SDK and your past week of work.
Hello, everyone. Last week, we managed to finish channel transactions that works with basic accounts. And now we can create channel, also make a deposit to the channel, and we can withdraw tokens from the channel. We can close the channel as well. Currently, we're working on implementing channel transaction with basic accounts and generalized accounts. So far, we can create channel between basic and generalized account. Also, we are working on implementing noise listener, and so far we have established connections between peers, and we can receive new blocks and transactions from them. One thing we have to adjust is transaction serialization, and once these are done, we will start implementing service that will check if the transactions is confirmed from end blocks. And this is my update. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This was straight to the point. I think everybody got the updates very well. Thank you very much, Daniela. Also, I'd like to mention that previously the team around Daniela has also started to write implementation of the Eternity protocol in Elixir, and that we are super interested also in the Elixir community, as it's also functional and close to Erlang with our main language. And I'm personally super happy to see the development here in the Elixir SDK going well. And yeah, thank you for the work. Keep it up. Next one in line here would be someone who is obviously using the SDKs, not the Elixir one, but many others, which is Stoyan, and also the middleware. So Stoyan, your base app team, please give us a short update about the past week and the work that you have done. Thank you.
Sure, we're working on a release that we'll most likely put up today. This release.
And happy birthday! Sorry.
Thank you. June 28th. So we're working on a release that we'll mostly put out today. It's I think we're going to include the air gap same device that just got released. The Vault update that we're waiting for just got released the other day, so we're going to try to include that in our release. Other additional things that that are going to be in this release are we moved the password to settings for easier onboarding, and we had previously moved the backing up your seat to the settings, and we've now in this release are going to include an in-app notification to remind people to back up their seat, an icon in the tab bar which also reminds them to back it up if they haven't backed it up, and then in the settings there's another icon. So we basically are targeting the user on all sides to back up their seat if they haven't. We also added paste from clipboard button to the address.
Really nice. My request.
Yes, we added a max button, which was Vlad's request, so people could send their maximum balance. And we added the balance to the send amount screen, because often when you're sending people tokens, you want to know how much you have. So those are the things we're going to include in the release. We also updated SDK to the latest version, which is 4.1. I think there may be another one coming soon. We'll update it to when that goes out. And in addition to the release, we have a couple of things that we're excited for that we started working on, which are not going to be included in the release because we're not finished. One is the naming system, the first version of it, which allows you to claim a name and then send tokens to a name that somebody's already claimed. And then we have these tooltips, which are basically part of onboarding. It's like when you first open the app, it highlights certain areas that you may want to learn more about, and then you can tap on them you can tap on each one to learn more about it. We're also excited about that. We're hoping to have a version of these for the next release. So we're doing this iteratively, and we should have a version in the next one. And then in addition to the stuff we're working on, I met with Milen and we discussed alignments between the different wallets, which right now are the base app, the browser extension, AirGap, and also possibly this Arcane network guys, which are now support Eternity. We're going to have a call on a regular basis. It will most likely happen every other Tuesday. And I will invite all the wallet people, which includes the people who are working on AX2 and AX5, because they're basically related to wallets and communication between wallets. And we'll have a wallet alignment every 2 weeks at least.
Fantastic. So many updates, and still always mention, or we have to always mention that this should be an everyday wallet and people should not store large amounts in the wallet. There is in the base app also ledger support, which is currently the hardware wallet that we provide for people who want to store larger amounts of AE tokens. And I have one short also security related questions now, where the password was moved basically into the settings. How does the key get encrypted if there is no password? How does it currently lay? And do you know that, or do I need to ask?
I mean, the question is more around, does the key get deleted? Because does the seed phrase get deleted so you cannot easily export the key out of it? So right now, and it's less about the password as much as it's about the seed phrase backup, because when we move the seed phrase backup, the idea previously was made so that when you we required backing it up when you first make the account, and then we deleted the seed so you couldn't actually export the key.
Yes.
Now that is optional, meaning until you back up your seed, you have the key on the phone, which means that it could be exported. When you back up your seed, we ask you if you want to delete the key. So
let's postpone this discussion because I think it will get too long. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. It's a long discussion.
Like those little details, let's postpone it for everybody who's interested. Just join us or look.
Join the wallet phone calls.
Cool. Thank you very much, Stoyan. Yeah. Let me please, I also see here in this call, not Sergey, but Michal, who is, I think, apart from the very, very first hour, maybe even wrote the first line of code of the Eternity protocol in Erlang, what it is today. So, Michal, great having you here. Please give us also a short update about what's going on in the protocol right now.
Yeah, hi guys. Today it's me. Several sub-projects are going in a backend team. We are getting ready to release beta of Stratum. Why it's beta? It's beta because everything is tightly integrated. It's still integrated, so we can let you play with that. But the final vision, we'll chop it into pieces and make it more adjustable by pool operators. Besides that, in our recent meetup, we designed naming service features, especially options. I work on them, so it will change a little bit dynamics of claim transaction. So we will be able to bid for very attractive names, and it will be like better user experience. Then we have improvements of channel connections. Now they are multiplexing the same connection. It's operation side improvement. Also, in that department, we have improvements of generalized accounts handling in state channels. So state channels are, they have multiple, they are complex, they have multiple states, and generalized accounts added yet another intersection with every state. So we need to handle that. And finally, there is ongoing effort with improving fate CDM, estimating, measuring gas, and a whole bunch of new features that FateVM will support. I think this is it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. You're also always invited every Friday, 12 p.m. Central European Time. We have these meetings now, and I guess this group will also grow, and we will also invite external or whoever in the community wants to join. Next in line here is I see Emil in the call, who helps us a lot with specifying standards for apps and wallets and key storages, and I'm sure there's also lots of things going on. So Emil, please give us your update.
Hey everybody. Yeah, so I'm personally more coordinating the specifications and writing them on my own, and try to get as many people in who are also working on these things so that we write specifications that are really useful and have all the people who are working already on projects and their input. So we had a discussion this week about some new things. One is about how to structure a global glossary for the expansions so that terms that are used in one expansions are in the best case also used and have the same definition in another one, and try to have make it easier to navigate different expansions and understand what's going on there without with a common terminology. And then we discussed a better structure of how to address expansions that have to be expandable. For example, especially for the token standard, this is already something where we see that we define a set of standards now, but of course we want this thing to be extendable, and we will in the future also add more functionality that people can use or may not use. And there we are currently thinking about how can we find a better naming system for this. There are also some new expansions baking. One is about metadata for apps. So that is basically defining a common standard so third parties can create app catalogs of all the things that's going on in Eternity, and giving the apps a chance to tell some more information. And of course, this can be also used in the base app or other wallets to provide more navigation for the users. And another thing that is also Stoyan is working on right now is finding better visual representations of Eternity accounts. So this is used very much right now to compare two addresses. So is an app really not cheating, and is it really my address, and so on. So there we have a kind of standard right now that the different wallets are using. They're using the same way right now, but maybe we can either define a better one or use this one and also publish it as an expansion so that future wallet developers can adapt to that if they want to. And then, of course, we have a lot of ongoing things. I think one of the most interesting one is the expansion 9, written mainly by Milan, who is about the token standard. And I think that is really one of the most exciting things happening right now, and where we are also looking for feedback from people who want to use tokens and see if that could work for them. We are trying to also address some issues we see with token standard on other blockchain systems, and make this really, really a good foundation for the future of Eternity.
I have a feedback here directly to this.
Yes.
So as there are multiple exchanges that have listed Eternity, maybe it makes sense that that the community proactively reaches out to them, or like their technical people, to also ask them what kind of issues they have run with, for example, ERC20 tokens, or with due diligence and reviews of the contracts of those tokens and things like that. Because short or long term will not only be decentralized exchanges, but also maybe some centralized exchanges that are going to list Eternity tokens. And I think it would be good to get their feedback in what they would like and what they would not like to see in this token standard.
Yes, that would be a very, very good idea, and I was happy to pick this up and get more engaged with them also on this.
Great.
And
I will pass some contacts. I personally, maybe other people also have some contacts.
yes, great. So please reach out to me. Also post something in the forum if you have something to add there. There's already a discussion about the token standard ongoing. And then we have another small update about the expansion 3. That is a secret storage, so that we have a universal format for that to make it exchangeable between wallets. And there we just have a small update to define the secret type that might help us in the future to distinguish things from each other. And that's basically about the expansions last week.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think I see one person which I am not recognizing right now. It's Nembal. Nembal, maybe you want to say something?
Oh, hi, it's Balaj Nimati.
Hello,
I was
Balaj.
just curious to
welcome
hear.
here in the group. And yeah, if anybody wants to ask a question or has some updates to add, please do now. And if not, then I would close this meeting. And thank you very much for participating. Spread the word that this is happening at 12 p.m. CET every Friday. Cool.
Oh,
that's it.
I mean, just one thing. It's CEST at the moment, so it's better we say it's
right.
Vaduz.
And we might even change that because we have now we have more people joining, for example, from Buenos Aires. We will keep and it's very early in the morning. I think it's 7 a.m. or so in the morning for them, or 6 a.m. So we might change this time anyways. Please follow the forum. I think this is the best way. And our Twitter account, or the Eternity Twitter account, then we will just tweet it. And also, I will make a calendar invite and collect email addresses. And when this changes, everybody should get an email with the new times. But we will keep it on Friday. And yeah, thanks a lot. Have a great weekend, everyone, and be productive. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Take care.